Wow. Welcome to Blunt Conversations. I'm Twilisha.
And I'm RoseMarie.
And I'm dying of being allergic to Georgia as per. So.
Yeah, the allergy situation is rough down here. It's always allergy season in Georgia, so bear with us.
And I know, I'm cute and stylish, but I'm your typical, nerd. I have allergies. I have agnoids. I can't breathe. I'm wheezing tonight. So if you hear me wheezing and you see me leaking, please give me some grace because I'm dying and I still showed up. So. Okay, then. Let's start smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Something's got to happen.
Yeah. I feel like we're just gonna each have our own drink tonight because not that I'm scared because she's contagious, but I'm like, it probably, this way she can stop and start as needs be.
So, and give me the lighter then. Oh, you light that for me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So.
Oh, God.
I feel like that. So, we actually, we have a plan tonight of something to talk about, and Twi got it out of me before the episode, which I don't know how I feel about that.
I was trying to be a participant. I was like, maybe I should find out what we're talking about today.
But yeah, so I thought that we would talk about 6 degrees of separation. So basically, we both work in media, we both work in the industry, and we both have our own goals of success and by proxy, fame to some degree because it'll come with it. I think both of us would opt to be rich without fame, but
100%.
I
think fame is weird.
It's very much it's not a normal part of life. It's not something that normal people really get a chance to attain and then maintain. So, and it's a weird thing. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and kind of also, because we're going to try and get some more subscribers. Hi, guys. We might do some...
quick shout out to my family. My cousin Stacy, he let my family know that I have a podcast, and I do see that y'all have been liking and commenting and subscribing to the channel. So I really appreciate that. And one of my aunties said, this would be a way to get to know me. And she right. This is definitely a side of my personality that you guys will be able to get to know. So, hey, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
So, yeah, I thought this would be maybe a time when both of us could do a little name dropping. Because I think we know that the level of success that we want is going to require... Oh, bless you.
Oh, my God.
The level of success that we want is going to require us to, if not acquire some fame, be around it.
Absolutely. My thing that I always tell Rose is that I don't want to be famous. I just want to be fame adjacent. I want to have celebrity clients and be able to go to fun parties and stuff, but I still want to just be a background person so that I can actually enjoy my life. When you're famous, yeah, of course famous people enjoy their lives, but it's very curated the ways in which they can enjoy their lives. And it has to become, it's almost a necessity that their enjoyment of life becomes an elite form of enjoyment because, they can't just be out here with the peasants.
And Twi and I are 80s baby. And so we grew up in the era of Michael Jackson fame. Michael Jackson fame was a phenomena. It was, it was really our Beatles mania. So and I was young when all that, I was young when all that was going on. So I think that's the first celebrity that it was I kind of made an impression of how much it impacted culture everywhere. But then, for me, I think my first famous person that I was not obsessed with, but interested with, it's so basic. But anyway, Mariah Carey, because I had I found out she was mixed, and I didn't know that there was any other more of me out there. I thought I was, as far as I knew, I was a unicorn. And I was, for me, I was like fascinated with the fact that people liked her, but people were mean and racist to me, and I was very like intrigued by this fact, and like I didn't get it. But yeah, she was the first celebrity that I was like I could see myself in, or at least I could relate to, and be like, oh, do you have like a person that like you was your first like?
I think
I could see myself in.
I think probably the first celebrity that I had a feeling like that about, or just like a major respect for, was Missy Elliott. And I thought she was so beautiful, and she has these really like big, gorgeous features. Like she's really big eyes and big, beautiful, like just juicy lips and high cheekbones. And a lot of my art when I was in high school and college, she was like a subject of my art a lot. I just thought her face was so amazing. And still, like,
oh yeah,
talk about drinking your water and minding your fucking business and just being a creative genius. Like, Missy is just like, every now and again she pops on Instagram and she's like, oh hi, by the way, I'm beautiful and I can sing and I'm talented and it's ridiculous and I mind my business and I don't bother nobody. So
and I think I've talked about before with like being at the radio station and doing certain things. Like I've always been obsessed with talent and fame go hand in hand. So bless you.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No,
this is disgusting. Like, if you stick with us through this episode, you a real one, because I'm literally dying. Oh God. Okay, wait. I gotta pause.
Okay. I think because I've always had a respect for talent and fame go hand in hand, it's really not that big of a leap that I wound up in this industry. And even like when I was at the radio station, like they would laugh because like if there was a celebrity or an event or something that we would go to, like they knew I was gonna get to the celebrity. Like they were like, stick with Rose. Like, and this is not like pre-weight loss Rose. This is 350 pound, I'm gonna get behind them gates Rose. Someone's gonna let me in. I've always been able to be like, no, they're just people. But moving to Atlanta,
and all I do is get starstruck. Like, in my life, I have come across celebrities. I wasn't at a rate. Like, sometimes I just be like, oh shit, like accosted by a celebrity. Like, all of a sudden one's around me. And I never know how to behave. I always tell a story about when I was on 106 in Park. And somehow I got to be one of the audience members that got a hug from the celebrity. It happened to be Snoop Dogg. And when he hugged me, I just was like, I love you, into his ear like a fucking weirdo. And I couldn't, like, it was like a ghost came out of my body and whispered, I love you, into this person. I fuck with Snoop, but I don't even like that nigga like that. I was like, what is happening? So I can't be trusted around celebrities. So I just let her do her thing.
You know what? I'm very much in phase. I think because of my background and how I grew up, like, there's a part of me that's always like, that feels like I don't fit in any room that I walk in, so I have to fake it no matter what. Like, so it doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, a business person, a regular Joe. Like, I gotta fake it. Like, we're all people and we're all flawed and we all have, those commonalities that we can kind of, bond over or talk about. So I always kind of remember that and kind of keep that in focus and be like, this is just a regular fucking person.
I can't think. I can't. I get starstruck. Like, I just be like, my mind is empty. My body starts doing things of its own accord. I'm not in control anymore.
And for me, it's always about like the opportunity. Like I've been doing a lot of background work, and I was just on a show and I had the opportunity. I was like Brandy was right here. And I was like, in my head, I was like, you're never going to have this opportunity to like talk to this person or like whatever. And, and she looked over and she was like, hey. And I was like, oh, hey. Like, cause I, literally, what do you do when the person is this close to you in a scene? Like, you have to kind of, but afterwards, like, she actually bumped into me in the parking lot, getting into her van, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I was like, "No," I was like, "It's fine." I was like, "I'm a fan." I was like, "I grew up watching you. Like, I'm 40," and she was like, "I'm 42," and she fist bumped me, and I was like, "Well, that's cool." Like, but I just definitely think that when we came down here, part of it was because that we wanted to have like access to people that are, doing their craft at a higher level. And fame comes with that if you do it right.
I definitely was like, part of why I left upstate New York was because I had kind of really narrowed down the focus of what I wanted my makeup artistry to be and how I wanted my career to look. And once I knew what I wanted, I knew that Albany, Schenectady, Troy wasn't going to give that to me, you know? Oh my God, the wheezing. I just feel like my aesthetic and my look and my artistry was just not going to be, it wasn't going to get the stage it deserved. And so I said, I have to go to a bigger market. And if I want celebrity clients, well, I have to go where the celebrities are. The celebrities aren't in Albany. They're just not. So,
I mean, and also, why would they?
why would they be? There's no reason to be in Albany. Like, what are you gonna go to the egg? Like, So yeah, no, I was like, I'm gonna have to go, and I think when we first moved down here, we were driving through College Park, and I was like, oh Rose, look, it's CeeLo Green, like.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Just coming out of like getting some food.
Hattie Mae's.
Yeah.
Which we still haven't gone to.
We haven't gone there, but we're gonna get there.
But and like that's just we live around the corner from Rick Ross.
Right. We've talked about
go back and see that episode. But yeah. So just the fact that we we've come this far and we're in these same rooms with these same people, like
like Rose gets to see famous people a lot because she does background work.
And not just background work. When I started off doing the production work, like I worked on First Ladies, and that was really the first time that I was around like A-list celebrities. And you have to, especially when I was the director's assistant, like, there's a lot of people that were like really close to me and in the same space as me. Oh, this is COVID time, so people are really trying to be professional, and I couldn't lose my composure.
And it's not like, I don't want to make it sound like I stay starstruck, but like in that initial moment, it's hard for me to just be normal. Like a couple years ago, I met Travis McCoy. Travis, my fave, Gym Class Heroes fan from way back. But he came to Alive at 5, and I went there after work, and he was just kind of like hanging around under the bridge because we were in the rain location, just hanging around being a person. And I remember like when I first saw him, I kind of froze up like I do. I was like, oh my God, it's him, like he's just out here, like, oh my God. And I was like watching him, and in my mind I'm like, I want to go over there and talk to him, and I want to talk to him so bad. But then also in my mind I was like, people are probably always coming up to him, bothering him, and wanting to intrude upon his day and his space and his time and his energy. And I think to myself, like, would I want some stranger coming up to me, demanding my attention, demanding a conversation, demanding maybe a photo, like in an engagement, like that we hug or touch? And I was like, I always, like, I get in my head about it. But like Rose said, the opportunity, like, I have been a fan of the Gym Class Heroes since I was like 22 maybe. So I'm sorry guys, meeting him. Okay, Mercury, just gonna throw the door open on me like this.
So did you talk to him?
So meeting him at the Alive at 5 like that, I couldn't really pass it up. Like, I was like, you kind of have to do this. Like, that's Travi. So yeah, I went up to him and I I decided that I would ask him for a hug because that's what I wanted. And I wouldn't ask him for a picture because I didn't want to be greedy. And so that's what I did. And I asked him for a hug, and he was like, yeah, of course. And I hugged him, and y'all, he smelled so fucking good. I want to let him go. But anyway, I don't stay starstruck, but there's a lot that goes on up here when I be meeting people.
And I actually have a couple pictures with famous people. Like, I was always like, I want to try and get, if I can try. That's when I use all my courage. Like, I don't on a day-to-day basis talk to people, but I know if I have an opportunity that, like, I may not ever have again. Like, I'm a regular person. Like, this is when I was a pre-K teacher. Like, sometimes I was just, I don't know. No, I was like, no one could stop me from getting backstage from anything. And then once I got a press pass, fucking forget about it. Like, I was like, nope, I'm going in. But the only person down here that I got starstruck with was Loretta Devine. The day that I found out that she was coming on set and I was going to be working, and like, I knew I was going to have to like say something to her. And like, because as soon as you heard that voice, I heard that voice and I was like, you're my favorite Hollywood auntie. Like,
Loretta is auntie.
And like, I was in this episode where like she was singing, and it was so, you know, that's the cool part. Like, because I've done both sides of it now, and like, I would never have had this opportunity in upstate New York. I got to speak to this woman behind the stage as a production assistant. And then when I quit, I went back as a background actor and got to watch her, just got to sit there and be cute and watch her sing. And like, you know, it's moments like this. Like, I haven't gotten a chance to, you know, because nothing I've been in yet is out. But it's like I'm kind of excited, you know, that I've gotten to be in these same spaces with these same people, because, you know, this is the era where it doesn't, you know, it could take one engagement, especially with social media and the way things are. And I thought we could talk about that, because you have always been, Twi's been on social media for a long time, longer than me, and on a lot.
I am terminally online, like,
but a lot more platforms. But like, today's day, you know, day and age, a lot of celebrities, Cardi B,
also online.
Logic, like, there's a lot of celebrities that were just made, like, they brought the industry to them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that Twi and I are on that level, because we don't have the same opportunities and the same access to, and resource.
For me, like, social media is, for the longest time, that was just how I put my work out. Like, I didn't have a website, you know, I just would put it to my Facebook page. And when Facebook started having business accounts, I made one for my makeup, because I didn't have the money when I first started to, like, maintain a website. So I had to do what I could do. And it works like that. Like, speaking of Cardi B, like, maybe in, I want to say 2014, 2015, she came to Albany.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
To do something.
And was looking for,
And she was looking for a makeup artist, and somebody was, like, tagging me to it. I didn't get to do her makeup. Another makeup artist got it, but I'm like, you get so close, you know what I mean? Like, you get really close.
Isaiah Washington, like, literally sat down next to me and was eating chicken. And I was like, why are you out here? Like, and I was like, I just remember looking at him, because I'm like, this is definitely Isaiah Washington. He's definitely eating chicken. And I don't know why he's out here, because they do, especially, like, not just because of COVID, like, but they just try to keep the celebrities in their trailers until they're not harassed and whatever. And so I was like, do you know where your trailer is? Like, do you need something? Like, he was like, nah, like, it's not ready for me yet. Like, I'm good. Am I bothering you? And I'm like, no, Mr. Washington, eat your chicken at my table, of course. Like, but
it'd be like that. Like, so something really cool happened to me. I was out to dinner with a friend, and I was like, oh, I gotta get the cat some food. So I'm at the pet store getting the cat some food, and this black woman comes up to me, and I had on my Toxic Twi jacket that
and we'll put pictures of that.
Pictures. And when I made that jacket, like I was like, oh, I don't really like talking to people, but I need to talk to people. So I'll put this on and people will come. That was the plan. So this black woman comes up to me as per usual when I have this jacket up and she's like, we kind of caught eyes. And it seemed like she smiled at me, but it's COVID, so she had a mask on. And I couldn't see her face. But she was giving me like polite eyes, so I smiled and said hello. But I'm about my business. I'm trying to get this cat food, and I'm not trying to hold up the line because I hate when people hold up the line. So I'm just trying to do my thing. So then she's like, "Oh, excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love your jacket. Where'd you get it from?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I made it myself." And she was like, "You did?" I'm like, "Yeah, I made it myself. Like, you want one? I'll make you one too. Like, I make them." So I'm talking to her about that, and she's asking me, like, do I have a card? And I didn't have a card.
Oh, and I always get on her. Like, literally, I always have a card on me for no fucking... I think I pulled one out of the pool one time. I'm not even playing. Like, I always have a card on me because I'm always like, she makes me so angry.
I had given out my last card, like, maybe a day or two prior, and I hadn't yet put the new ones in. So I was like, oh, I don't have a card. I was like, and she's like, well, do you have an Instagram? And I was like, oh, yeah. So I give her the face goddess. And I was like, yeah, just DM me about the jacket and I'll get back to you. And like the whole time I'm like, oh my God, because they were talking to me about the jacket forever. And then even the cashier was like, oh my God, I was just about to ask her the same thing because I love this. And I was just like, and I'm so anxious, right? I never want to be in the way or be a burden or take up space. So like, all of this is happening, and the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I'm so in the way. Like, these people are waiting to get food for their pets, and now I'm causing a scene. Everybody talking to me about my goddamn jacket ain't got nothing to do with pet store business. So those are the thoughts going through my mind. So I go and, I tell her, follow me. I get back in the car, tell my friend, I was like, girl, I'm in here holding up the line. People talking to me about this jacket. I felt so awkward. And so she's laughing at me. So I checked my phone. Jordy had got to me quick. Like, and like if you're an entrepreneur, like when people mean business, they usually
hit you up right away. Because sometimes they'll be like, oh, I want to do this thing, and then you don't ever hear from them again.
Hear from them. But when you hear people like they be getting with you with the quickness, like that usually means like they about business. So I hit the person back like, hey, I'm driving, but when I stop, I'm going to give you a fuller response. And I didn't, I wasn't really paying attention. So when I parked up, I went to go like get their info and see what we was talking about. And I see they got a blue check. I was like, well, who is this in my DM with a blue check? Like, who is this? So I go to their profile because, on Instagram, it's just a little thing. You can't see it. So I go to the profile and I'm looking and I'm like, well, this looks like, I'm like, but it can't be. So I'm scrolling down, and I'm sure as shit, I was like, fucking see orange is the new black stuff. And I'm like, yo, is this fucking Black Cindy from Orange is the New Black in my DM? Talking about she want me to make her a jacket? So now I'm just like in my car, in my poor, hardest working car in show business, having like a freak out because I'm like, I watched every fucking episode of that show. Every episode. And I was just at the fucking pet store.
Of all places.
Of all places. Like, I was just getting some pet food for my fucking cats. And we've been trying more. And I didn't even know it was her. So I didn't get the chance to get starstruck. I was just being a normal person. Because if I had known it was her, I feel like it might have went a little bit differently. So I was like, oh, wow. Like, and y'all making that jacket.
Now, that would have never happened in Albany. And that's why.
Not at all.
And that was the thing, too. Like, also, I don't know how much, like, I know that in the episode we got into when we were run out of Albany with pitchforks and, like, and shit. Because bitches was mad or whatever. My God. But anyway, moving on. That's the New York. But in that, I don't know that we got into because that jacket, like, I like this part because, like I said, every little thing has really come together. Even though this has been a really hard year for us, but the things that we were doing and all the like hardships
our
along the way
is coming up.
Yeah,
Saturday will have been
a whole year, 365 days.
Yeah, and we went through a lot.
We've been through
a lot.
Jobs. We've been through struggles,
feelings.
I had a car with ants. I was on an air mattress. It was like a lot going on. Like,
but we're still here. We're still standing, and we're making things happen, and that's the most important part.
So the jacket. There's a quote on the jacket. She put it on the jacket because sometimes she'll put not just art, but she'll put like phrases and things.
Yeah, like quotes personalized.
And stuff. And it was like you dress weird.
So if you see me and Nutty number 2 thinks she gonna get so much shine because I put that on the coat, but if you see me and you see that you dress weird, it's from that because they were like, you dress weird. And I was like...
A person over 35 said this to her online, and I'm sure someone somewhere has screenshots. Now, I didn't even watch it. Like, I was trying not to engage in it because it was so crazy.
I was trying to, like, move away, and, like, I would be posting something completely unrelated, and they kept coming to unrelated posts trying to provoke me, and I was like, you guys are acting crazy, and I would, like, delete their comments. So I don't even have any of it because I was like at a certain point, like I was trolling them, but at a certain point I was like, guys, I'm done. Like, like I'm over this. So yeah, but
that's the level of like that's what I said when you're you want to be working with the highest quality of people because this has the opportunity to get her artwork out to other people
to really be seen,
and it's going to be worn on around other people.
Like I would imagine, and I'm gonna ask her because I have to listen. I had to take my opportunity. Like that's something that I always say about myself is that part of the reason why I see the success that I do is because when an opportunity comes my way, I don't fuck around. Like. I'm on that shit.
Like, I'm definitely a person who's always about... I'm always trying to help out, too. Like, when I see a talented person, I think that was something, like, we talked about when I did, like, the 518 Spotlight. Like, I'm always, like, I want to highlight it. And I want to, if I believe in it, like, I want to get it out there, too, no matter if it's a musician or whatever. But I definitely, when we moved down here, I had Twi make me a jacket, too, because I was, like, once I realized, like, I was just going to be around famous people, like, on a daily, I was like, until I can get you in here, like, bitch, give me something I can, like, make us
jackets are, like,
conversation.
It's a art piece. So when you have it on... Like, has that been your experience when you wear the jacket? Do you typically get people engage you?
Oh, I like that. And again, I had her make the jacket, specific to my brand. And so, people are always like, oh, well, what's Project Shrinking Violet? And then that gives me a reason because I can't exactly walk up to people and tell them, like, hey, I lost 200 pounds. And it's a weird thing, but it gives... it gives it a reason for people to walk up and want to hear my story and kind of engage. And then I can give them my card, which I always have on me. But, like, yeah, I definitely wore her jacket on set. And her and I made a really cute and underrated TikTok.
Very underrated.
I was so upset. Go to TikTok immediately if we can at least use 35 more days on that.
Right. Oh, my God. All right. But so, yeah, like... What I knew, I don't even know if I'm in the right spot, but what I knew when I made that jacket, when I made my Toxic Twi jacket was I knew that it was going to make people talk to me, which is what I need because I am a true blue introvert. I ain't never going to go up to no stranger and just start talking to them. Like that's a lot. And I won't say never, but it's not something that I enjoy. I don't look forward to it. I just be like, this is a lot and it's weird. But when I have that jacket on, I don't have to. Because there's not one time that like I be outside in that jacket and like even today, I wore it today, and I was outside taking a picture, and somebody was like, I really like your style. Like, I need to talk to you about it. And it's not like I'm mean or anything. Like, if people come and talk to me, I will talk to them. And if they're interested, I will talk to them about myself and my business and what I do. But I'm not as gregarious and outgoing. So I made that jacket for me as a tool, like, to show off my work and to make people want to know about me. And it fucking worked like a charm. And that's why I was like, let me ask Rose, like, if that had been her experience, because I'm usually not with her when she has it on. But
I mean, because there's no need. I'm like, I got.
She's at work usually, so you know. But I just say that, like, I don't know what she experiences when she's in her jacket. I know how it affects my day.
Yeah, but that's why I use it too, and like that's even how, you know, like. Again, like I try if I know I'm gonna be in a certain side of town, like it doesn't matter if I'm going to get a COVID test or if I'm going to go get some cookies. Like I usually dress up. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I had to go today to go fill out yet another job starting packet.
We've been so reckless with jobs down here. It's mad funny.
But like, it's a 5-star restaurant, and like even I'm so strategic in making sure I'm in a proximity to celebrities too. Like, because you never know. Like, you never know whatever interaction as a hostess or as a production assistant or as a background actor or whatever it is. It's
like we have to use what we've got at our disposal to turn heads and turn eyes. Like I was like, well, if I'm gonna be pastel princess, neon demon head ass, then I have to go ahead and commit to that, and that's how I have to come outside. Like even when I'm chilling, usually even when I have on my no makeup, I usually have somebody that will be like, oh, I like that. Oh, that's a cute top. Or, oh, I like it. Something. Because I can't just be out here wasting my time. Like, I'm down here, celebrity at the grocery store.
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, I think that there was a level of wasting our creativity where we were. Because, you know, yeah, okay, I went downtown today, so I got cute or whatever. And just in case I ran into somebody or whatever. Like, but in my hometown, like, I would get cute sometimes, but it would be a waste of my outfit. Like,
a lot of times,
whole waste. Like,
you would get dressed because you might have just felt like getting dressed. But it's like...
And people didn't get it, or they didn't get your creativity, or they just didn't...
Or they would say, I was dressed weird.
Or I was dressed too nice.
Right. Oh, where you going? Why are you so dressed up? And, like, literally, you could have on, jeans and, like, a cute top. And people would be like, why are you so dressed up? And it'd be like, I just put some... I'm sorry I didn't roll out of bed and put up my fucking bonnet and my SpongeBob SquarePants pajama pants. But,
like, whenever there was an event, I always tried to find, like, a super cute outfit and, you know, make sure I stood out. And there were times where I felt like other people's outfits disrespected my outfits where I am supposed to.
I know what she's talking about. There have been so many times, like, I would step out to events that would be hyped up. Like, and that's the thing. Like, people who are promoting events, they're promoting it like, come step out, look cute, like, get your finest fucking clothes on. And then you get there, and you're the only one who understood the assignment, like, you and your friend.
Like, at any event where I went and I act like there was somebody with Crocs on, and I was like, cute, I was furious because I was just like,
Crocs.
Yeah, girl.
Crocs. It was a
nigga.
I would go out to, like, New Year's Eve parties, and people would be having on, like, jeans and Jordans. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's the new year. Walking around with a bottle of Henny. And then I'm wondering to myself, like, why are we at the same party?
And for me,
because we shouldn't be.
And for me, like, I really love, you know, that especially when I was younger, like, living in poverty, I didn't get to dress myself. And there were actual factual times, and I'm sure if I did enough digging, and I don't want to, or my mom because she was weird and artsy, made my clothes.
That's a lot.
On some Sound of Music shit, like legit one time she like made me a dress out of a pair of jeans and like made me wear it, and like actually I do have a picture of an outfit she made that is hideous, and she made me get box break. Oh my god, I'm gonna find that picture. So for me, and because I was overweight, my whole adult life, getting a chance to express myself and like dress how I want to dress, and it is nice. But if I was doing that in my hometown where there's no reason to do that, I would be seen as someone who's just trying to get attention. And it's not about getting attention. It's about, expressing yourself.
It's about feeling good in your outfit. Like, and people would look at me and doing my makeup and just look at me doing me and think that I was trying to be an affront to them.
And their lifestyle or something.
I wanted to do this, so I did it. Like,
so I don't think that, and that's the thing. Like, I think that that's something that celebrities understand,
right?
And they get. So that's not, maybe we won't become famous, but I think that we're definitely going to be in the realm of working in the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. And
I definitely think Rose might become famous. I think I'll be fame adjacent, maybe.
And I think the opposite, because I really feel like where she's going with her art and her career could very well get her famous and get her noticed way before I can get my body done and my teeth fixed. And like, I'm not saying this eating candy. Like, I have no business right now. This could be my last. Like, shit's getting real. But again, we moved down here with a plan, and I definitely think that, we're headed to that land and that realm, and it's both scary, scary and exciting. But again, I think what it means to both of us is success.
Like, for me, it's like what it represents. I'm not like a clout chaser, and what making this jacket for like my first celebrity client, what it represents to me is being around the kind of people who are not questioning my worth. Like, when I explained to her the price structure and what she could get, like, she literally was like, I want it all. How much? And then I told her how much, and she was like, okay. And at home, it would be like,
how dare you think you're
like
worth that much?
And people want me to pay, and they want me to sell it to them for $100. But it's like, I spent hours on this. And I spent so much time and energy and mental capacity to put this out into the world, and I love it. And I'm not just gonna give it to you for pennies, like.
And I think,
that's what people want.
And that's the thing too. Like, I've always been a person, and I said this before. Like, because of the world I was in, I always would be around artists. I always, when I saw a talented one, would support them. And usually, I never bartered with an artist because I understood that was time. And for me, and I talked about this. I never had time to really fully get into a passion. And so I knew that someone was trying to live their life and still made time for this thing. So I never bartered. I always paid full price. And sometimes I would tip extra if like they got it together. If they gave it to me fast, or it had a nice packaging, and like, we had talked about kind of when we met and giving Twy a tip, just when I had no money. But because that was important to me, to show that your time and your effort, that I know that you weren't getting fully paid in that gig, meant something to me. And
that was something that stuck with me, because I was like, well, I volunteered my time to do this thing, and ain't no shame to doing free work. But I just thought it was thoughtful, and I am the type of person where I'm like, well, people don't have to be thoughtful.
But artists deserve to be recognized, and celebrity comes along with that. And I think that the more each of us built our confidence up, we both feel like, no, we're going to be in the celebrity realm of things either way. Like,
because, like, also, too, just the way that my aesthetic is, this jacket, like when you guys see the pictures of it, is not something that it's not something that, you know, the woman that works the front desk at your doctor's office with her French tips is going to have in her closet. And not that that's wrong for her to not have it, but it's like, what is she going to do with it?
But also, it's going to have cards in the pockets. Because it is. I know people are going to walk up to her and ask her about it and where she got it done. And it's going to do its job, you know?
I mean, it's been doing its job literally since I touched down. I was like, well, it's working. I was like, I just need to get the right eyes on me. I was like, the right person needs to see it. It's obviously, it was road tested. It came back checking out on all on all specs. So I was like, it's working. I just need the right person to see me. And then this opportunity presented itself. I'm like, I just so happened to meet this celebrity at the pet store. And that's why I moved. Because I'm like, I'm not going to meet no fucking celebrity at the pet store in Colony.
And I was saying this week, like, I got an opportunity to send my resume in to be a production assistant in the assistant director department. And that's a big deal because
I really hope she gets it.
Like, even if I don't
that's
do
what she's been working towards.
That was the thing. Like, that one, I knew I had to figure out a way to get in because, you know, a lot of these people went to film school and they graduated and they got an internship and they went and they've been doing this since they're 23 and 24.
Not to mention nepotism.
Oh my gosh, and they don't be wanting. And I got this gig. I mean, I got the opportunity by being a background actor and talking up one of the PAs and just work. I've been working my plan. Like,
because both of us are like, we're very much outsiders. Like, we're in the industry, but we're like
two bitches from upstate.
Tangentially in the industry. So
we're adjacent to it.
Have to use every bit of opportunity that comes across our plate and every little bit of privilege that we do have. Like, we're two beautiful women. We have to use that to our advantage. Like, we got to go outside and be beautiful. I always want to go outside and do all the things. But I'm like, can I really afford to come outside and not do them? Like, what if, and I don't wear my jacket every day because that would be weird. But what if I didn't have it on that day? Or what if, you know what I mean? What if I didn't?
Would have never. And that's the thing. Like, I think about that every time I leave the house. So I have to take a little bit more time to get myself ready. And I know that comes with the life because, you know, we were talking. I don't know if we've talked about the fact that Twi definitely needs a lady in waiting because her outfits require a lot more work. And it's so funny because out of the two of us, like, I take the least amount of, like, literally, I can get ready in, like, 15, 20 minutes because I'm always trying to squeeze in a nap because I'm always tired.
Always at least 90 or better. I'm like, I need a quick 90. Like,
her outfits are usually way more complicated than mine. Mine usually are just about covering up and stuff.
I got these damn 2 pairs of shoes, one in pink, one in black. They're awesome, but I definitely need help getting in them because they're like this fucking tall, and I got all these titties, and I have to lace them up anew every time, and there's like 50 million eyelets, and I'm just like when the shoes showed up. And I was like, oh, Rose, my shoes came in, and I was showing her, and she was like watching me. I was like a fucking upturned turtle trying to do this shoe up.
And that's the thing, like, we know that these are things that come with celebrity. There's more time that you need. Like, Beyonce, yeah, everyone be like, oh, well, you have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. No, I don't have a chef. I got a driver. Oh my God.
Has a house staff. You know Beyonce has a personal assistant. You know Beyonce, like, literally, I'm out here, like, I haven't made a TikTok in 6 weeks because I've been working. Like, I had a job, and this job has been ridiculous. And, like, then I got another job, and then I was worried. And, like, so then, like, I had expending a lot of mental energy. So that when I get home, I'm like, yeah, doing TikTok takes at least 3 hours or better. Like, if you're gonna, like, do the whole thing.
I think that we had, you know, I talked to Twi because both of us have been transitioning down here in our own ways. But, like, part of being in the industry, like, this is a different level of stress. We're in like big city traffic a lot of the time, which is again part of celebrity, which we don't have a driver, so we're dealing with that stress while we're trying to get to the thing we're trying to get to where we have to be on.
There's literally like when I was working at the hotel, I was like, oh my God. I was like, getting from fucking like downtown to Fairburn, like and it's not that far. It's like 15 miles, but just trying to do that makes you want to become a murderer on the spot. You're all of a sudden, you're just having all this venomous rage, and it's a lot.
I know that like I've started putting on makeup like a whole big girl, because when I first met I had like, I think maybe some lip gloss but like now that I'm like, no, I need to like be on. And also like, even though I will say this, I'm very proud of this. We've been here 365 days and I have not gained a pound. I weighed myself the other day for the first time in a long time. I haven't been weighing myself. I haven't been obsessing. I've been really good about like just being but again, I know that part of my brand and my, as far as working in media and getting attention is maintaining my figure. So that's a part of celebrity too that we understand, because our look matters. Like I've worked my ass off to get down to this size, but honestly, I need to lose like 20 pounds. Every time I go to a fitting, I'm reminded, because I'm just barely getting in those like periods pieces, the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s ones that has the fabric made from the wool of like a fucking steel maker. I like, it's just crazy material that does not give any kind of black hip. Apparently, all the vintage clothing that made it to these costume departments clearly for white people. So like,
and it's like, that's a thing too. And I haven't been as fortunate. Like I definitely, I was just talking to Rose about this last night. I was like, no, like there was so much stress, and my hair had started to fall out, and I put weight on, and I started getting rashes everywhere. So like, I really just felt like I moved down here and got fat and ugly, and
celebrities are so criticized. So it's like, that's a pressure. Like when you're already stressed and you're a talented person and you're artistic and you're doing all things, and again, you're doing those things without the driver and the lady in waiting and the scheduler, and so we're doing it on our own. I think that her getting these jobs has made her realize why a lot of the times I would just come home and just be like, nah, and go in my room and go. I had to decompress, because I've had to be on more down here than I've had to be on in my whole life. Like, and especially, why would I be on in upstate New York at Price Chopper? Like this.
And then there's me, who refuses to be on for anybody. I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, I have not been so cavalier about a job as I've been down here. Like the other day, y'all.
I love it.
I was like, you know what? I got another job, and y'all are really asking too much from me for $17.50 an hour. So
I definitely told her today she was
head out.
She has been ever since she left upstate New York and that job up there.
Oh,
ruined
me.
She has been giving Viola Davis meme where she just pack a book up and gets up and leaves. Like, that has been Twy at every job. Like, I don't need this shit. Like it's so.
And come home and be stressed. But I was just,
insert Cash App. I don't know if we said it this episode, but like the struggle is definitely real. But you know what?
2022 is opening up a lot better, and I feel good about the trajectory that I have. I have a new therapist. She's making me do homework. I have a new job. I walked out on the last job. I got another job. I'm about to have health insurance. Girl, y'all must have health insurance. Oh my God, I'm going to get to go to the doctor. And like, congratulate me. I've been trying to figure out how to go to the doctor since I got here. And now I won't have to use the ER as a doctor. So
I've decided, like, I'm trying to go back and look for a 9-to-5, but I definitely have talked to the universe and been like, if you gonna make me get a 9-to-5, it's gotta be worth it, because I'm really trying to utilize my time down here to be in the industry. So I'm more hopeful that I wind up in the production realm of things, and that'll be stable.
I mean, if
and it'll be good.
AD job, like, I'm really fingers crossed for her to get that, because like, I don't really want, like, I understand why you would get a desk job. Like, it's the same reason I was like, oh no, I need to go to the doctor, and I need to like have a steady situation here. But if you get the AD job, that is going to allow you to
so much
stay
more
in the
access.
industry and also be on the trajectory that you want to be on.
And you know, for me, like I was talking to someone the other day that I was just like, you know, if I get this opportunity, like 10 years ago, I was just a pre-K teacher living in the projects with 3 kids. And I know how hard when you hear people's like when you go listen to these stories where people become successful and they become famous, like they did a lot of these famous people, these celebrities that, you know, were homeless, like Jim Carrey, and like they went through these struggles. So I feel like Twi and our struggles are like very, very valid, like, and they're part of it. Like, you know, I've been doing these background acting gigs, right? Because like, and no one cares about the background actors. Like, who gives a fuck about them? Like, you're just I'm just a hair puff in the background, and like. So they herd you like cattle and they keep you in tents, and like I show up with a camping chair, a sleeping bag, and my own personal heater because I know that these motherfuckers don't care about me, so I gotta be my own entourage right now, and these are the things that I gotta do that, you know, might get me on a set and get me, and like I said, I got this, you know, this opportunity because I was background acting, but I was background acting with my space heater because it's like I haven't made it yet, so I'm gotta take care of me and I gotta do these things. And I think that looking back, and I do think that eventually when our podcast, people are gonna go back and watch this. I just know in my soul people are gonna go back and watch this after we're famous. And I'm gonna be
oh, you know they are.
I'm so annoyed because I'm like I'm future mad. I'm such a Scorpio. I'm future mad that y'all could have been helping us. But I feel like
but we have to like
we got to do this.
We have to take care of ourselves. So, you know, right now we're down here making executive decisions about like and really adapting.
She needs professional allergy medicine. Like she can't even get it through the shower.
Like I really do need to go to like I really
steroids like
because people it's not the cats. Like literally I was fine last, like if we had a shot this last night, none of this would be going on. Like sometimes she just woke up environment down here, my body is just like, we can't.
And me, I got arthritis and my teeth are wiggling and like all kinds of stuff. But like,
so we have to make these executive decisions and like we have to adapt in real time to the conditions that are being thrown at us. And like that has been difficult. It's been worth it, but it is an expenditure of energy, and it's not always physical energy. Like oftentimes it's mental and emotional energy being expended. Like a lot of times we're tired because we're feeling so many things. Like, and
it's really
both of us are at like a point in our mental health journeys where we feel feelings, and sometimes it's corny. Like I've been having to feel feelings about my dad, and I'm like, I don't want to feel feelings about this nigga. I just want to excise him like a cancer, but you can't.
And I think that's part of being an artist. Like it's definitely making me understand why there's a lot of, you know, artists and celebrities are put at a harsh standard for their mental health. And there's been a lot of celebrities, you know, I was just the other day looking because it was 14 years since Heath Ledger died of suicide. And he was only 28 years old. And there's so many people, like you could go, the Jim Belushi's.
I don't think that people like have enough respect for how much turmoil can produce beautiful art, because it's like sometimes that's all you got.
Yeah,
is your ability to make something. Like
and people put their pain
my timeline together, and like I've been basically taking care of my own self since I was 11 and having to make sure I was straight and entertain myself and encourage. Like I've been having to do this because the people who were around me had their own shit going on. Like they had their hands full. And like that turns into a wound and pain, but that also turns into like you have to find something.
And then you're putting that, and then you're going through that. And a lot, you know, we're lucky because we're not, you know, there's only the 35 of you guys. You're not really stressing us out. But, but like to be going through that scrutiny under the public eye.
When you're going through something.
And a lot of, again, a lot of these artists are broken people because the greatest pain, like those art, like pain and art go together hand in hand. Like, you know, our story adds to who we are.
Sometimes you don't even know what it is. Like, I had It took me 3 years to understand why I couldn't deal with Gretchen getting married, because I couldn't deal with it. And it took me 3 years to even be able to verbalize, like, oh, something's going, oh, okay.
Something's going on with me.
And I was in my 30s. So it's just like,
now imagine going through that with like the cameras on you and you not knowing.
Like, what if me and Gretchen were famous? We had a falling out and it was in the tabloids, like famous friends break up. And everybody's like trying to weigh in and trying to speculate from the outside looking in. And you're already going through something and you're already dealing with mental anguish and whatever you're going through, and then now it's like magnified, and your most, like I always say, it wasn't my brightest moment as a friend. And not only do I like sometimes carry some guilt and shame about the way that I handled things with that friendship, you know, but imagine if it was 50 million strangers chiming in, telling me how guilty and shameful I should feel for handling things poorly with that friendship. But it's like, you can only do what you know how to do.
And like, I think of all these, you know, artists who, you know, committed suicide, the Robin Williams and things like that. Like, they were great artists. And when you talk to people about these artists, a lot of times you find that they would self-isolate, because this industry, and especially if you're an artist, you're a sensitive person and you're in touch with pain. And I know that my story is not the weight loss that people are really tuned into. I think it's more the story of the vulnerability of, you know, oh my God, how did that happen to you? And I was like, let me fucking tell you how that fucking happened to me. Like, because it wasn't, you know, I put up a post the other day about my father because my half-brother sent me a picture of me when I was 3. And like, it was totally just a random post at like 6 a.m. because it was just whatever. And it got like a whole bunch of like likes. And I was just like, I forget that when I just speak open and honestly, that's when people pay the most attention. And I feel like artists, you walk a thin line because you want to be open with people and share yourself, because that's what makes you special and that's what you have when you put your art.
But being vulnerable makes you vulnerable. Like, you know, even when, like, I made a post about how challenging it's been for me being here, but how, you know, I'm proud of myself, and I tried to remind myself, like, this was a really brave move, and it was a really, like, difficult thing to do, and now that I've done it, like, I understand why it's hard, and I understand why people fail. Like, I intimately understand. It's not because of money. It's not because of money why people fail.
It's because of determination.
I'm like, people fail because you have to really understand why you made the move, because if you don't, you'll go back, because it's hard. And it's not hard because of money. It's hard because you are really out here like lonely and by yourself and trying to figure out so many different things at once. Like, I'm down here trying to get jobs, make friends, meet men, and also trying to create a mental map of the new space that I live in. Like, every day is a new challenge. So it's a lot. But I'm like, you know what? I put a post, I was like, it's been hard, and I've been honest with people. Like, I'm not the type of person who just only shares my highlights. Like, yeah, I've never been the type of person on social media to just try to make it seem like
life's perfect.
You know, aerial shots, Cristal. No, like, when I'm low, I be like, I'm low, because that's part of me. And people were like, you know, really happy for me and engaged with those posts, because they're like, you know, you've been very honest with us this whole way through about everything that's been going on.
And again, oh God, you'll get all these likes on these posts about things and your businesses, but it's the same people who won't share your brand or buy or support or use you or share your posts. So that climb to celebrity, like, nobody gives a fuck until you make it. And
everybody just wants to be able to say they knew you when. But when they knew you when, they weren't in the thick of it with you.
They thought you were cocky, or that you were trying to do too much, or that you
wanted attention, or that. And you know what? I realized this a couple years ago. I was like, you're not mad that I want attention. you're mad that I have the audacity to ask for it. You want attention too, and you don't have the heart to ask.
And for me, like,
I'm out here asking. I need it, and I have to be able. I have to be able to say, I need this attention, because otherwise, I'm just gonna be an expert makeup artist and this wonderful, like, fine artist making all these things to just be in my room in Albany, New York. That didn't make no sense.
And for me, like, you know, I was literally hiding in my body. And so, because I didn't want attention, because I was so scared, because in a small town, you know, if you're just attractive and you're just dressed nice and you know, like I said, I was smart.
It definitely isolates you. Like, people would be mad at me.
And I'm the nicest person, and people knew that. I think that, you know, again, I said that, like, being overweight made me non-threatening, and I knew that. And, you know, it's been hard because I spent so long, like, trying to not intimidate people. But I'm like, I need to do that as part of, not intimidate. I need to make myself be confident enough to have self-esteem to walk into these rooms and, like, not have people, I need to not have people know, like, oh, clearly that chick used to be fat. Like, I just need to be in these spaces on my own accord, that I made it there in my own way. Like, I don't, when I'm working these jobs, like, I don't really get into my backstory, because I just want people to respect me as a person who's there doing this thing. Like, I don't need them to know that I had my first kid at 17 and that I was 400 pounds and that my dad beat my, like, I don't need that. I don't want that story to be me. I want them to meet me and be like, wow, this girl is talented.
Right.
And wow, she's, you know, she gets the lines and she hits her mark and she is on time. And like, I want to be known as, I made it here on my own esteem. And I feel like a lot of celebrities do that, and they do that at the expense of, you know, again, their mental health and their, you know, anonymity. But
yeah, because I mean, I do share a lot, and it's like, for me, I realized a long time ago, since I am terminally online, and that I've been online so long, that my digital footprint is so expansive that it would be like a Herculean task for me to actually, like, scrub my internet presence.
Oh, so yeah, I'm sure we both said things that would cancel us
and perfectly upright. So how I decided to address that was just to be like, well,
I've grown since then.
I've got to just be myself, and I just have to be me.
Yeah.
And then that way I can say, you know what? I've grown since then, or my mindset on that has changed since then. Or I could be like, that's the how I feel. But at this point, it's consistent.
Yeah.
So nobody can be like, oh, Twilisha put herself out as, like, a church girl or this type of person, like, or that type, or Alicia Curry type, and then find out that in the background I'm smoking weed and sucking dick or something like that. You know, like, we
put ourselves out here as flawed human beings.
So be yourself so that you can be yourself. And that's, I feel like, the best way to approach celebrity, or the possibility of celebrity, because when you're trying to make your brand a brand instead of making yourself the brand, it's going to crack, because you have to be yourself.
Yeah. So I definitely, like I said, we definitely have been good about showing our vulnerability. And I think that when I decided this is what we were going to talk about, because I said, like, you know, we draw from our real life. And, like, Twy making this jacket made me think about all the things that we've been trying to attain and what it would mean. And, you know, this year, some celebrities died, and, like, you reach that status in celebrity where, like a stranger's death affects people. Like, everyone knows where they were when Michael Jackson died, and, like, you know, we lost Betty White, and that was a big deal. She didn't make it to, like, when you reach a certain level of fame, you touch people. When Robin Williams died, like,
and you connect with people, like, that's what's important to me about my art. Like, I want my art to connect with people. Like, I feel so much pride in this jacket that I'm making for Adrienne. Like, when I have a whole plan in my mind about how I'm going to deliver it to her. It's I'm like, it would be like as if I was delivering an art collector one of my paintings. Like,
Yeah.
and she's gonna wear it, and I want it to look good, and I want it to be a good representation of me and my work. And the thought that my art is going to get more eyes on it and people
Did you
who
get a label? Are you
appreciate
gonna make
it.
a label?
I'm working on it.
Okay, because
And people are going to be able to see and appreciate my artwork on a different level. And that's why the celebrity, the degrees of separation coming down. Like, I've been thinking about like how close, like, for me it's not Kevin Bacon, for me it's Beyonce. Like, I've been like, well, how, and now, like,
you're in that realm.
well, for a long time I've been 1 degree. Like, I've met a lot of people who have met Beyonce, so I'm like, I'm close. But I'm like, now I got my foot in the door. Like, one of the principal characters from Orange is the New Black saw my Toxic Twi jacket and said, I want that.
And it's going to be wearing it.
And I said, you want the works? And she said, yeah. And I said, this is how much the works is. And she said, let's go, boss. Like, and that's what I was working for. Like, that's what I've been honing my skills for in Albany all that time. And, reacquainting myself with my artwork, because after we lost the house and I lost my artwork and then I had to leave college and I couldn't pursue my art, there was a lot of pain there. And for years, I didn't do it. I didn't draw, I didn't paint, I didn't do nothing. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to just do this. But in 2016, from 2015, like when it was New Year's, my New Year's resolution was like to draw 5 minutes every day or something like that to like get myself back into the swing of being an artist. And it's like, I'm here now. And I always remember that resolution. Like, I remember the little sketchbook that I had that I started drawing things in. And I was like,
I want to be able to live off my art.
I want to be able to make a sustainable lifestyle for myself where, like, if I could just sit in my bed and be Dazzle Jackets and get high all day and pay my bills, like, that's the dream.
and for me, too, like, I think, we said before, like, not having resources and things like that, like, I really was always looking for a way to, like, to just have some stability in financial stability, and that's something like I can't play basketball. Like, I don't know, like
I wasn't trying to sell crack rock, and I don't have a wicked jump shot, so I had to figure out how I was gonna do this shit.
And for me, like this is for me, it's just the first time I've been able to prove to myself that I get to be this, because for a long time I didn't think I had any talent and any skills, and didn't think I deserved to do anything. Like, I was just, I was just a mom. I was just going through the shit. And, like, the fact that I've got to be in these spaces and climb my way, it just makes me know, like, I'm annoyed because I know if I had done this when I was younger, like, I'd have been a beast. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this. Like, I think that a lot of the reason that, I got picked on and kind of put down and I couldn't see it at the time was that people saw my potential and just they didn't know what to do with it, and they didn't have any direction. And again, my parents, like, I know that, like, they didn't have, like, Twi's mom encouraged her art. Mm-hmm. I remember being 4 years old and being precocious, and, like, how we had talked about, like, those kids, like, I kind of almost think I would have been one of those kids, but, like, I didn't grow up in a household where you were allowed to do that. Like, that was kind of, like, beat out of me. And, when you talk about when your body goes through certain things, you stress, like, that's around, and then, like, being like my body, like, put on that stress. And it's just like,
it comes on you in different ways. Like,
And I just think that being in this industry, like, kind of, like, shines a light on that.
It's very interesting because, like, I talk about how my hair started, like, it really started falling out when we moved. And my mother, that's a part of how her body shows stress. Like, when her mother died when she was 8 and her hair fell out. And that, like, affected the rest of her life. Not just her mom dying, but then as a woman, she also lost her hair. And then because she was a child, people were relentlessly mean to her about it. Like, everything just happened at once.
And you see in celebrity life all the time, like when women gain weight and have babies, and like how the press rips them apart.
If your body changes, and it's like, bodies change.
And also they're going through all this stress, you know, like that's I said, it's been hard. I've been able to
I think that's part of how I've been able to like come back down. I'm still not where I was before I moved here, but I can feel in my clothes and stuff that I'm coming back down. But I'm like, I had to be like, well, I was being really super mean to myself. I was like, oh, I've got so fat. I'm so fat. I was like really being mean to myself. But also I was like, you know, I have a body. Bodies change. They're not always going to look the same. Like,
they go through transitions as you go through things. That's just a natural part of life. And like, it happens, like, and you know, but you have to be cognizant of it, and that's the thing. Like, you know, we both don't have all the things, so we haven't been able to really,
like, down here is different. Where we live is not really a walkable area, so we spend way more time in our cars. Everything is far. Everything's a highway.
There's Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is on every corner. We just were talking about cookout and the like. They might as well pay you to eat the food. Like, they're just throwing food away, like, out the windows at you. So it's like, it's different down here. And then, you know, we've been trying to get a rhythm and a routine and a level of stability in both of our lives. We both want to start working out, but it's like every day is something different. And every week it's presenting a new set of challenges. So in my mind, I'm like, it don't make no sense for me to start opening up a gym membership just yet when I'm so all over the place. I need to have some kind of structure in my life.
Again, we don't have the things. We need a driver. We need a gym. We need a person. No, like, we need a driver, a personal trainer. Like, this is just part of our lives. Like, again, I can't gain weight. Part of my brand is to maintain my weight loss. That means maintaining my mental health. Like, that's hard. I wish it was as simple as just like following a calorie guide, but like, it means that I gotta constantly check in with myself and being like, how bad are we doing? Are you taking your vitamins? Are you doing these things? Do you have to go to the doctor? Like, so I feel like we are on the rough side of the way to get to fame. Like, we're literally taking you guys with us, but like,
we are like guerrilla warfare style. Like, we're going to achieve our dreams. But we're taking damage as we move through this world. Like, it's not easy. And I think that because we're both so passionate, like, at the end of the day, when we don't have nothing left, we have our passion left. Mm-hmm. And that's what gets us through those dark times. That's what makes us get up and go to jobs that we fucking hate. And that's what makes us...
And we have our story, too, because I think that's the thing, too. Like, I feel like when we get in these spaces, like, you get in these spaces with your art, or you get in these rooms that you're in, it's nice when, like I said, I want to be respected just for showing up as the girl who can do a good job. But then when I'm comfortable and I do let people know where I come from, they're even more impressed. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't have a silver spoon, and I didn't, get an opportunity to go and I'm still there doing a good job, even though. And I feel like Twi and I both have that, and that's part of our story, and that's part of being an artist, and it's part of being a celebrity, is not having that good story. But I think
that's why we're going to be successful, because... I don't say this to be shady or nothing, but our artist is a dime a dozen. Like, everybody's an artist. Literally, I believe that. Like, sometimes people will come across me and they'll be like, I wish I could draw, or I wish I could do makeup like that, or I wish I could... And I'm like, you can. I was like, I've just devoted a certain level of time, energy, money, and, myself to this particular pursuit. Whatever it is that you chose to devote your time to, that's what you're going to be good at. And I'm like... So that's why I'm like, yeah, you could be an artist if that's what you really wanted to do. For me, that's what I really wanted to do. So I've devoted myself to this. But on top of being an artist, we're both professional, and we both have a level of understanding how to, like, get on one accord with a team for a vision.
And the end game.
And everybody doesn't have that. And I feel like that's what, for me, I think that's what I felt put me above the competition, where especially the time that I decided to pursue my makeup artistry, it was like, oh, well, everybody's a makeup artist, and what you do, you learn on YouTube. And like, people were shady to me like that, but I would just have to be like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit because I'm me.
And I definitely think that our drive, like I say this all the time, like there's bitches prettier than me, thinner than me, who maybe lost more weight than me, but they don't have my drive. And I think when I was in upstate New York, one of the, that toxic guy I talk about, he had said something, because he was saying, like, there's nothing to do in Albany, like you're not gonna really reach success. And I had asked him why he thought, like, why he hadn't left and why he thought and he had said basically, like, he just had gotten stuck in a rut smoking weed, and like basically that you couldn't be successful. And I think it's hilarious that we have this podcast, and like I work in the industry, and like everybody's on drugs, and I remember telling him, like,
if you let smoking weed stop you from achieving your goals.
That's like Bob Saget in Half Baked when he was like, the way I was sucking dick for weed, like when he was like
right.
And I remember, I'll never forget that, because when he said that, I kind of was like, again, this was as I was like coming out of that and really kind of seeing who he was as a person, and I was just like, again, he was always talking about leaving, and I beat him out of there, but because once I started to believe in myself, that was the missing piece for me. I didn't know what I knew. I had always just been the one driven to survive, because the shit I was going through was unfucking real. Like, the fact that I at 19 had custody of my 16-year-old brother blows my mind. Because my son is turning 20 on Saturday. We drove down here on his birthday. He was crying hysterically over leaving
I remember that.
But
everyone was
see episode 1, by the way, because that is hilarious. But yeah, who's 20, by the way, and it's just like,
it's like, actually, this year will be my 20th high school graduation.
Oh, anniversary. Yeah.
So I'm just like,
reunion. Are they doing it?
Who knows? Probably. They tried to have a little fake ass reunion, but
I went to my high school 20-year reunion and I got voted most changed. I mean, I lost half a person, so.
Well, I won't be going to mine, because I'm not going back up to New York for no damn reunion.
I'm excited. I'm glad. I know we're getting ready to wrap up this episode because
I'm still dying,
and I want to go take this off because I have to wash my face, because if I get glitter in my eye, I'm gonna be down for the count.
Oh man, we can't afford it.
But
I did have makeup on earlier. My plan was to come here and present y'all like a face goddess face, but
seeing where I am, I have to go back up to upstate New York. I haven't been back. Twice been back, but I get to go back, and I'm curious to see, who hits me up or who tries, who's getting around me and see, like, to be in my face. I'm going back for my sister's wedding, and I'm excited for that. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I definitely think that we're on the trajectory to be famous, and like I know there have been other people who left Albany and got successful, and they don't come back. They don't fuck with it either. Like
there's really no reason to come back, and unfortunately, because of the small-mindedness of the community up there, like there's this song that I listen to that there's a line where she says, funny how I used to want to eat, I used to want to eat bitches. Funny how I got to put them on my plate now, and it's like, it makes me think of being in upstate New York, because I really had like a pure mindset and a pure heart. Like my whole thought process when I first started doing makeup and stuff was, link up with other people who are trying to do things, because, if you build a rapport, in my mind, I was like, well, if we build a rapport with somebody, if they pop, that's good for me. If I pop, that's good for them. And I feel like Rose was one of the only people I met up there that had that same mindset of like, well, if I pop, that's good for you. If you pop, that's good for me.
I was trying to learn.
Everybody else was just like looking at people being hateful if they felt intimidated by that person. And it's like, that's not what I'm here for. I literally just want to win.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I'm with winners, I will win. So that's what I try to align myself with.
I definitely learned, I feel like at the radio station, I learned that I was way more capable like I was trying to align myself with women and people who I thought who were successful, because I realized a long time ago that if you want to become successful, you have to be around successful people. Mm-hmm. And again, that's another reason that we know we have to be around celebrity, because that's the kind of level of workmanship and craft we want to get to, and that takes time. So,
and I've devoted the last 10 years of my life to makeup artistry. So at this point, ain't no backseas. Like, I have to go exactly where I'm trying to go.
And for me, I haven't. I mean, actually this February will be 10 years since my mom died, and that's when I first had an opportunity for a second to stop. I was no longer my mom's caregiver. I was no longer. And my kids were finally getting old enough where I could like be a person. For me, I never like was like, oh, this is my talent. This is my thing. I'm going to do it. I had to take the fucking crash course, because I don't have the time, especially in what I'm trying to do, especially if I go into acting and, you know, I'm 40. Like, I'm 40, broken down, no insurance, like, 40. So, like, I'm half white. I could overage like an avocado. Like, so I have to be this. That's another reason I've delayed getting a 9-to-5, because it's like, I didn't have the last decade. You know, I was a mom, and I was just a person trying to like pay my bills and get out the projects. So for me, I can't afford to work. I gotta work smart, not just hard. I gotta work smart.
Right.
So I feel like that's what celebrities do, and that's why we need to respect them. And that's why y'all need to cash app us so we can stop, and so we can get a driver, because like we live in Atlanta.
So we could get us something. I'm trying to get a housekeeper. Rose told me to slow my roll, but
I'm like, can you just wait till I get like a job with a 401k at least, like, or at least until I have a regular production job? Because like, bitch, like,
because we're not here a lot, and it's just there's a lot that's insert the cash app. We need furniture. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a lot going on in the house.
But we gotta go because our editor is outside in the cold. I don't even know. And we told him it was gonna be a short episode. What time is it?
It was. What time? It's 10:38. Girl, we've been running our mouths.
And also the allergies kind of slowed us down a little bit.
Yeah, because we had to stop a lot, and anyway, thank you for, if you like watch this and you get to this point, thank you for bearing with me. I know I've been extremely disgusting, like exceedingly so on this episode. I hate blowing my nose in front of people, but I'm literally like, I'm about to go to bed because what do I need to be up for?
All right. We gotta go let Ollie go. I think he might be knocking. So like,
okay. So
all
yeah,
right.
Bye.